Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today's election day, people. The polls will be opening up here shortly. We've got that, I believe it's 7 a.m. Eastern time. So here in about an hour, we've got election day polls opening. And I don't know if you had seen the move from yesterday, but we've got a little bit of tech downside on things. So we'll take some look at some stocks today. We're going to be more TA focused. We kind of did some shenanigans yesterday, did a lot of talking. So I know you guys are here for the TA. So let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. Oh, it's on the wrong screen again. Let me get to the right screen. There we go. I've got the stock heat map pulled up. We've got Apple sitting down 0.4%. We've got Nvidia up 0.48. We've got Berkshire Hathaway down 2.18 after selling off a bunch of Apple shares. So sitting on even more cash now. We've got Eli Lilly sitting down 1.56. P&G is sitting very neutral, down 0.01%. ExxonMobil is looking very green, up 3.18. We've got Tesla sitting down 2.47 after Elon Musk decided to make a little appearance on Joe Rogan. Got Joe Rogan to endorse Trump. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Got United Health Services sitting down 1.72. Got Amazon sitting down 1.09. Got Microsoft down 0.47. Got Google sitting down 1.2. And Meta is down 1.14. So looking pretty red and neutral on the market, just depending on the sector. For crypto, though, looking a little bit green right now. We've got Bitcoin up 1.44%. Ethereum is up 1.7 on the day right now. Got BNB sitting up 1.21. Solana is up 2.72. We've got Dogecoin making some massive gains this morning, up 8.91% right now on the day. XRP is up 1.21. We've got Tron Coin and Toncoin as the only red in the top 10 at the moment. Tron is sitting down 0.8 and Toncoin is sitting down 1.91. Cardano's finally making a little move back to the upside. It is sitting below that 34-cent range that I like to keep bringing up. It is at 33 cents right now off of its 1.5% move to the upside. Shiba Inu is also up pretty massive. It is up 5.91%. Might have to take a look at some of those meme coins if we're going to get some volatility today. For the economic calendar today, let me get to the current. We've got the presidential election coming up, as you know, we've been talking about for a few weeks now. We do have balance of trade coming out today. Probably not going to be that heavy of a market mover, considering that we do have the elections coming. We also have a little bit later in the day the PMI final. That can be a slight market mover. It is forecasted to be up 0.3, so definitely some positive data on that side of things. We also do have ISM Services PMI coming out as well. That is forecasted to be down from 54.9 to 53.8. So something good to see on the producer side of things, that things are slowing down just a little bit. Other than that, we don't really have any heavy data except for the crude oil stock change. And, as you had seen on the stock heat map, ExxonMobil's already making a little move off of that. Elections probably could play a little bit in that. If people think Trump is going to be elected, then, oil's definitely a decent play. Let me hop over to the fear and greed and the liquidation heat map. For the stock market, we are sitting at 42 and fear. This is quite a move down from where we were sitting just the other week, where we were in some greed back in the 70s, and that was right in line with crypto. Crypto is still sitting in greed, kind of not what we've been wanting to see as things ticked down just a little bit, but I will definitely take it. It is not extreme fear anymore, and if we stay consolidated, kind of moving more sideways, then it'd be nice to see it continue its little tick down and cool off the market just a little bit. For the liquidation heat map, let me refresh it. I pulled that up about an hour ago. I've been up and watching the charts, so let's give it a chance to refresh. It's moving a little bit slow this morning. No, extra slow. I don't know why that it just didn't even pull up the heat map. Give it another second. There we go. Looking like the small hot spot we have is to the top side of us. Some of that liquidity got taken out this morning. That was sitting on the top side of us. That would have been back at 69.07. Has now been taken out, and the only other hot spot above us is now 69.1. So that's for the daily chart. Let me pull up a weekly chart to kind of take a look at that real quick. If it'll move a little bit faster, moving kind of slow. It looks like the hot spots are all above us. We've got some sitting at 69,500. If you move it on up just a little bit, that heavy spot is sitting to the top side of the range at 73,100 and goes all the way up to 73,677. I know I've talked about a fair value gap that is sitting below us, and the one little kind of hot spot to the bottom side of us is sitting right above that fair value gap, and that's $66,760. So let's hop over to the charts real quick. Let me pull up Bitcoin real quick. I was looking at some other assets before the start of the show. As you can see here, we are now back at the top of the range that we've been at for several months now, and that breakout above it looks to be just a liquidity grab. We've got plenty of room down here to the bottom side, but I don't know how far we're really going to get back down there. We've got several divergences on your higher time frame chart on the prime oscillator. You do have money flow still looking a little bit red, so just something to keep in mind, that there could be a little bit more downside before we continue on out. So we will kind of see how that plays out when the market opens. That's going to be a big factor in things. let me pull it up to a daily chart. As you can kind of see here, you are getting some curvature on your MACD, but it's still kind of pointing to the downside, which is why I thought that maybe a little more downside is possible. I don't know if we're really going to end up getting to this fair value gap, which starts at 66. But you do have the line that we had bounced off yesterday, which is a fib extension sitting at 66,900. There's where that liquidity is lying. It's right about here. So something to keep in mind that could be a little bit down, a little bit of a downside move before a continuation of the trend. I think we're really going to have to wait to see who gets into office, though. As we had talked about yesterday, I don't think we're going to know tonight. It's definitely been the trend that we don't see those election results right off the bat. Hello there, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Happy election day.
Happy election day. I like your getup.
I'm here to. I want you to vote.
Yes.
As long as you're not a felon.
Is that a dig?
What?
Is that a dig?
No. No. People with felons should be able to vote too. Felonies.
Well, in my state, they just changed the laws around, like literally weeks before the election, where if you have completed your felony sentence, you immediately get your voting rights back. Whereas you used to have to wait 2 years after you've completed your felonies to be able to vote again. I guess they wanted some more people at the polls, so sway those election results.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. I went over the overview. That way, all the easy stuff's on out of the way, and we can have some fun and look at charts. I was just doing a little look at Bitcoin. So I don't know if you have something you'd like to go.
I just got here.
I know you were up late doing TA.
Actually, I wasn't. I was up late packing.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have been looking at some charts last night. You normally up late.
Sometimes. No,
sometimes.
I was looking at that. I was looking at the charts. You know, I'm always looking at the charts. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can do that. Give me just a second. You don't need to know what's going on, David. Just wing it. Just wing it.
I can't just wing it. Look, when I wing it, people think things are stolen, okay? I can't wing it. All right? I'm Uncle Sam.
Hey, they're gonna think it got stolen no matter what, David. It's okay. Either way, no matter who wins,
either side.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the internet, but people are like, "Oh no, there's a little dot in the Kamala box." So if your little ballot has a little dot in the Kamala box, this is them trying to fudge the election results. So make sure to ask for a new ballot that doesn't have a little dot in the Kamala box, because that means that your ballot won't be valid.
Yeah. There was something in the community notes that you know, just talking about how like that whole thing was like, it was like Kentucky election officials have not said that nobody's reported anything wrong with ballots. It's like, oh, here we go again.
Yep. Of course.
Look, guys, if your guy loses or girl loses, just hunker down and get ready, or get to work. Put your head down, I should say. not hunker down because that seems bad. Put your head down, get to work, get involved in your local elections, and start from the ground up, because that's the only way we can change things, is if we start getting more involved and care more about our local elections than the national ones.
Yeah, but
Don't you butt me.
David, you're acting like your average citizen pays attention to what's going on in their own backyard and doesn't just watch the news and get all rah about the presidential elections.
I've got a solution for that. Like, we can create an app and you can type in your local address, and it gives you every single thing that you need to know about your local, your city and state elections.
I mean, there's definitely stuff like that online, but I think people care too much about what's on social media.
All right, fine. We'll force people to buy the app. Yes, I said buy it, because this isn't for free. We're not doing anything for free, okay? We'll force people to buy the app. Now, I don't know. What would you think about making voters, but like when you go to register, you have to pass a basic like civics course exam questionnaire.
Yeah.
And if you fail it, you get as many chances as you want to pass it. But you can only do it like 3 times a year or something.
See, if I was to really say what I wanted,
3 branches. What?
If I was to really say what I wanted, I think no one under 25 should be voting. I think that if you don't have a stake in like land owning, something like that, own a business, if you aren't paying taxes in some kind of way, you shouldn't get a right to vote. I'm sorry. You shouldn't. How much is what is
Hold on. When you go to buy something, are you getting taxed?
Yeah, okay, but if
Every day, dude.
yes, but also if you don't have as much of a stake in what the results from the election are going to be impacting, should you have the right to vote? I don't think so. Where it's like you have a bunch of kids who are still living at mommy and daddy's house, and they're like, oh, well, my mommy told me to vote for Kamala, so boom, there we go, I voted. And now they feel special when...
Yeah.
Or
that's most people. Most people are indoctrinated with their political beliefs from a young age.
Yes, which is why I feel like you should have that time frame where you are now out of the house, you are separated from your parents, and you're now making up your own mind. What do you actually believe in? Not what do your parents believe. My parents were Democrats. Yeah. I am not a Democrat. I am as libertarian gets. So I had to move out of the house, though, and move like 700 miles away from home and kind of find out what I believed in life, though.
Yeah. Yeah, my first, so you're a libertarian, huh? The first person that I was ever of age to vote for was Ron Paul in 2008. Mr. Ronnie Paul, that was my guy, man. He's the one that got me all against the system.
I mean, that was a very good candidate. Back in 2008, I would have been in middle school, so I couldn't vote.
Yeah, aged myself a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
But we did hold mock elections back in 2008 in my middle school, and because my parents were Democrats,
Obama.
Yeah, I was the person that did the whole Obama speech, and I got tons of people to vote for him in our mock election. And then as I'm in high school and I'm like, oh, snap, now that I understand a little bit more, that was a terrible choice.
Yeah, you start reading some Ayn Rand. You start getting into some Austrian economics.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was a
You gotta
doozy.
start learning some supply and demand. Then you learn about credit, and you're like, "Oh God, what is this? This is awful."
Right? Or like you watch how an economic crisis got handled, because like I heard all about that in middle school as my dad's complaining my ear off, and about how things are costing more and we're so expensive because we want to do all these things and the economy just doesn't support that right now. And then he's complaining how all these big businesses just got bailed out, but like where's his bailout money? So
Al Jr. says, "I hate politics." Cry face. Falco says, "Bruh." I think LOL, bruh, probably to my get up. LOL, back to the way it was. Says A to Ace. I think he's talking about. I think they're talking about your ideal voting people.
yes,
I
yeah.
was in the army and don't own land. Says Falco. Well, you're not allowed to vote under under BC. I own American debt. Patriotic enough, says Al Jr.
We all own American debt. But like here's another factor. It's like you do own stakes in some companies. You are investing money, which means that like no, you don't own a physical asset, but you do own assets, which would allow you are part of that system, which would allow you to vote. Cause like owning a land and owning houses right off the bat is kind of a more of a far fetched dream for some of us. You know, got to put some time in. Yeah, for some of us.
Remember? Hey, when was the last time we required people that we required you to have land in order to vote? What was that? When was that?
Probably back
Was
in.
that before women had the right to vote?
Let's not dissect this too much here, David.
Just saying. Just asking questions. Just asking questions.
Yes,
All
yes,
right?
it is. But let's not dissect this too much. Do you want to? Do you want to pull up the Bitcoin chart for the
something slavery, something I don't know.
On that note, do you want to pull up the Bitcoin chart? I've got some stocks
I got
pulled
the
up.
Bitcoin chart pulled up.
Awesome. I'm gonna swap you over there.
All right, so yesterday we did well, I got stopped out of my long, which is fine. And then we came down to my green zone while I was at work, so I was too busy to hop into that. I really wish I would have been able to do that, but it is what it is. But yeah, the green zone was my next level of demand down here. We can see that we came up, we broke it, came down, bounced off of it, we dipped into it, picking up that, that demand, bounced off of it again, and then took off. That's why I drew out this box. And now we got a nice little bounce off of that. Nice engulfing candle here for a bit of a reversal, build up consolidation, and then a nice push and break above this downwards trending resistance here. So now I'm just looking for price to hold, and I think that we could see a move to the upside today. So this is going to be a little bit of a prediction of what we might see tonight, and that is based on how they count the votes. Just like in 2020, it will likely look like Donald Trump and the Republicans in general are taking the lead early. That could give us the spike up. And then once later votes start to come in certain counties, in certain precincts, in certain states. Every state counts votes differently. They count them in certain orders. So today is when you get most of the in-person votes. Okay. And who's most likely to vote in person? It is your Republicans. Your Republicans historically are more likely to vote in person on voting day. What votes get counted first in most states? Your in-person same day voting, election day voting votes. Those are the ones that get counted first. That's why it always tends to skew heavily Republicans at the beginning of the night. And then the Democrats usually, the votes for the Democrats usually start coming in a little later. And then 2020 was even way off the charts on that because, Democrats did more mail-in ballots while Republicans voted in person. So you had the big red mirage then. I would expect somewhat of another scenario like that tonight. So just keep that in mind before we go into tonight. If it's looking like things are looking good for Republicans, just know that those late votes favor the Democrats. So it all depends on whether or not those late votes are enough to push them over the Republicans or not. So, but yeah, so that's why I think, hey, this looks like Trump is going to win, right? This looks like Trump is going to win. And then we wake up tomorrow morning and we hit the pooper because I think women are going to come out in droves and vote for Harris. So that is just my election prediction. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's just a prediction through my analysis, through my electoral analysis that I've been, looking at over the past few months and watching the trends and seeing what's going on, seeing why people are voting for who and who's voting for them and why. And the fact is, women, and especially older women, senior women, are actually, it seems like they're kind of pissed and they're coming out. So men got to get out and vote. Everybody's got to get out and vote if you want to try and stop that force. But yeah, that's just a little bit of my politics nerdiness right there coming out for you. So just know that could be the case. Now, this is what I would see as my target here, right there, taking out that high, sweeping it high at $71,555. We have the Monday high, the previous quarter high, the monthly high, or monthly open, and last week's midpoint, all sitting above us that we could go up and tap. Wouldn't be surprised to see a move down first and then go. We'll just have to see, or you know what? This thing could just consolidate and do absolutely nothing. Okay. But I think as votes come in and it starts looking like Trump is in the lead, we might get that push up, get the sweep of the highs, and then we'll see what happens from there. Okay. Which I still think it's likely we're going lower, but that's just me. What do you think, BC?
Well, I had definitely been talking about some downside potential. I had a few spots marked out where there's the last lows that we had kind of made at 68,000 for a slight pullback. And then
I can't see you. Where are you?
hold on. Oh, let me, there we go.
There he is.
Yeah, I had to make a little outfit switch. So the lows here on the candle bodies were very even at 68.1, 68 area. So that's a little spot I had for a little bit of a pullback this morning before a potential continuation of trend to the upside. If we get lower than that, and we come back down to the 67,000 range, I would be looking for the lows here at 66. So really going to depend how market opens. We do have a little bit of PMI data coming out today, so that could also kind of sway things in a direction.
What time is that? Do you know?
Should be here this morning. Let me get that pulled up. Let's see.
PMI is usually like 8:30, or is it 9:30?
Gonna be 8:45 our time, so 9:45 Eastern time for the PMI finals from last month, and then 10 o'clock Eastern for the ISM services PMI. So those are the two
Okay.
data drops for today.
So those could move the markets too. So
Yes,
it doesn't
just
have
a
to be
little
all
bit.
election related.
It's mostly going to be election related, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we might get some spikes off of those, but they might be, pushed down or pushed up quickly,
Yes, yeah. Which is why I had my eye on some potential downside. The final is actually for PMI is looking like it's going to be up, but the forecasted for the ISM is forecasted to be down. So just something to keep in mind that the final is forecasted to be up, which is not what we want to see, but the new data is looking like it's on track for what they would like to see. So
Cool.
I do have.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
I closed on my house today.
Woot woot.
Yeah, I closed on the house today, bro. Hey, everybody, I closed on my house today, and I don't have to work.
You're not working either?
Nope. Oh, you're not working?
No. We've had 4 days of nothing but rain. So
Yeah, it's supposed to rain today. We're probably getting some of that.
yeah, I was gonna try to do stuff yesterday, and I did absolutely nothing but nap.
Oh, so we could go on for a little bit longer if we
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah. We can have all the fun. Look at all the assets.
Hey, what are your plans for this evening?
Um,
To sleep,
no, I
or are
am.
you gonna be up late watching the election results come in?
I will be up for sure because I don't know with all the rain that we've been getting if I'll even be working tomorrow. So I'm gonna stay up late and watch some election results and probably hit a third workout of the day because I get so bored at home alone and I've got an at-home gym and I just like to take advantage of it on days that I don't work.
I think the aftermath of the outcome will be the Shiza show, if it goes a certain way. Everybody's saying that though, so I don't know, man. I think people are gonna keep their cool.
It's a Shiza show either way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
With current
Let's
polling and it being basically 50-50, no one's going to be happy no matter who wins.
No. Yeah, I know a lot of people, maybe me, that are just ready to get it over with. I'm just ready to get it over with. You guys have a great day. I have to exercise due to the peer pressure that Dave Digital has caused by all his posts. I feel that, Crypto Billy. Every time I see those posts, man, I'm like, man, I need to get back into it. But maybe that's the plan after the move is, once I get some space back in our new garage and I can set up my weight bench and my speed bag and punch bag, I think we'll be good to go.
I'll be your accountability.
Homeowners.
I'll be your accountability partner on that.
All right. I mean, my wife is pretty good at that. All set. Congratulations, homeowner. Thank you, All Set. I appreciate you. As much as I hate to say it, I think we pump and go down again to exactly where. I'm not sure. Just my gut feeling. I do hope it pumps hard, though, says David Brumbelow. Yeah, I think so as well. I think, well, the thing is I still think that we might get a sweep of the all-time high and then come crashing right back down. Let's see. Congratulations, LBC. Thank you, David. Congrats, David. Thank you, Alexander G. Best mod queen in the biz. for the Mod Queen, the best mod in the biz. There we go. This week we can buy in and sell in May, says Indie Rock Crypto. Yeah, I hope so. But the thing is like, it seems like everybody's now picked up on the whole election after the election. We just go up forever thing. So I don't know. I don't like it when a lot of people start saying the same thing. Narratives like that tend to push price action in the opposite direction. But we'll see. Yep, I think we're all caught up on that. Yep. I think stonks might get bears here, says IRC. What do you think, BC? I haven't looked at any stonks lately.
I was kind of the same mind. I have the NASDAQ composite pulled up that I was looking at this morning. It's looking like it's going to be pulling back down. I have the S&P where I had looked at that this morning. Looks like it's going to be pulling back down.
Do you see that gap on the S&P?
Yeah. It's ugly. But we're now below the golden pocket on a fib extension. So I don't see that getting closed anytime soon. We're now back down below old highs that we had made. So definitely going to be a little bit of a second before we get back to that range. The Russell 2000 is sitting better than some of the other ones, but it's still looking like it's going to make a decent pullback. Probably, I don't know, looking here, if we pull it to the gap, about 2% or so. So kind of overall, things are looking kind of bearish on the TradFi market side of things. You have gold, which looks like it's about to be topping out. Crude oil is sitting kind of decent. It is now back moving towards a range that I've been wanting to see for a while. I've been waiting for my next little chance to do some options on that, getting back into a range. So just some things I've been wanting to see that might not play out for a little while. We're going to have to wait for the dust to settle on some elections.
Yeah, media narratives get the most people wrecked, says David Brumbelow. Correct, sir. That's why I don't like them. Especially once everybody starts piling on and saying the same thing. I don't like it.
I mean, just.
But now I don't see. Now the 50Ks have already started to go away. So hey, that might be coming back into play. Have you looked at the liquidation map?
Yes, I did.
Heat map.
The liquidity's mostly to the top side of us, sitting in there's some at 60
for now.
60. It was like right above us at that 69-200 range, and then a giant gap, and it's all at 73. And then a weekly chart does have some at 67. It's like 66 and a half, somewhere around there. That's the liquidity to the bottom side of us. But most of the liquidity is still to the top side of us. So I don't know if anyone has anything they'd like us to look at this morning, but you can drop that in the chat for us and we will take a look at it. I can hop on a few of those assets that I had talked about when we were doing the whole rundown on stocks real quick. Do you want to be on screen or off screen?
Yeah, go ahead. Whichever.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it on screen. I've got, oh, that's Apple, not the right thing. So here's the NASDAQ. As I've been talking about, there's a massive gap on the NASDAQ as well. I had a fib extension pulled up where we're now below the platinum pocket. And as you can kind of see here, your MACD is getting some curvature. Your prime oscillator is also getting curvature right there at that kind of midpoint. And your money flow is looking very heavily red. This is an hourly chart, so kind of the play out of the day. It's definitely looking like this last gap that we had made, which we had pulled back into about the halfway mark before moving on out of it, might get closed. And that's going to be a little pullback of about 3%. I don't think it plays out all in one day. That's definitely going to be more of a multi-day move, but that's definitely an area of some interest. You have your golden golden pocket for your fib extension is sitting right there in that fair CME gap as well. We've got several touches off of it, so it's been a strong point of bouncing, but it could easily turn into a slight rejection point if we end up coming on down to it. Let me hop over to the S&P real quick as well. As you were saying, there's that big CME gap here. It's sitting in the golden pocket, but we are now below the golden pocket. You've got the same kind of curvature on your MACD. This is very, very tight. You have to zoom in here a lot, but you can kind of see here the curvature is pointing right to the point where it's going to break below that indicator line, and we are sitting on the negative side of your MACD. Your prime oscillator does have a divergence on it, but your money flow is still looking kind of red, and your curvature is indicating that we're going to pull back down. It also has a CME gap that was to the bottom side that did get closed, but it could be a nice little point of bouncing. You can kind of see here that this fib extension line sitting at 5,667 could be a nice little bounce point as well. It'll really just depend how weak things are with some of the election and PMI data that we're going to be getting today. But that fib extension line would be about a 1% move to the downside. If you drag it on down further to that old CME gap, you're looking at about 1.2% to the downside. So just something I had looked at on S&P for the day. You can kind of see for the Dow Jones, which is more likely to be impacted by your PMI, more heavily impacted by your PMI data, because this holds a lot of manufacturing companies inside of it. There's also your gap that we had seen on some of the other ones, but it got closed extremely quickly. We are now sitting below the golden pocket as well as the S&P was. So definitely a little bit more room for some downside, but you can kind of see that the opposite of those other indices, you're getting some curvature towards your upside. So if we do get some positive PMI data, not on the revision, but on the new data that's coming out today, you could definitely see a little pull back up to this golden pocket, which is sitting around 41.8, 41.9, right in that range. You can kind of see that your money flow is a little bit red, but it's lightning on the green, so potential for red, but your prime oscillator is red and curving. So just something
What are you looking at right now? Near?
No, this is the Dow industrial average. These are just
okay.
the big indices. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of what I'd been looking at this morning before I went live. And then here's your Russell 2000 that I had talked about as well. You do have this platinum pocket, which is sitting here at 2,200, which would be a nice little point to pull back down to. You can kind of see.
What time frame are you on?
This is all hourly.
Okay.
Kind of more like a daily look at things.
Yeah.
You can kind of see your MACD is kind of looking the same as the S&P and the NASDAQ, where you're getting curvature on your MACD that is pointing to the downside. Your prime oscillator is looking kind of like it's going to be pulling back as well. Your money flow is starting to get a little bit red. So except for the Dow, those indices are looking like they're going to be pulling back. I don't know if you
And
got.
what does that mean for markets, broader markets in general?
It really just depends on what kind of sector you're in. We had looked at the heat map this morning. You can kind of see that your tech sector is getting a slight pullback. Your producer side is getting a slight pullback. Uh, consumer non-durables are looking pretty neutral. Well, I think they're waiting on that PMI data for today. Your oil is looking pretty decent though, which isn't really a factor in those indices, but you could definitely see. Yeah. We do get some oil data today as well with some crude oil stock change. So comes out before all the heavy data on Wednesday. But for now, it's kind of looking like we could continue to see a little bit of pullback in the stock side of things. I don't know if you have any crypto charts you'd like to show the people.
Yeah, I pulled up. We had got a request for Ondo, AVAX, and Near. So I started looking at the AVAX chart here. So just give me 1 second to throw some things on here. All right. So on the daily, we are below the quantum and dynamic reactors. So that is generally bearish. We have put in this change of character here, this Chach. So we could be seeing a switch in order flow from bearish overall to bullish. However, I am still very bearish on alts overall. I am bullish on AVAX on a high time frame, but I just, man, the way that a lot of alts are looking to me, or that the whole altcoin market looks to me, it just looks like it's about to get just absolutely beat down. And I could be wrong on that, but right now, I think we could see some short-term positive price action, but again, a lot of this is going to be based off of the election. I do see that we were putting in higher lows here, and then we broke the trend, and then we pushed off of that. We did get down to the golden pocket of this move, which would be a nice level of support if it can hold. However, if we're looking at our oscillators, we can see we've got everything: money flow, True 7, the volume matrix is in the red, and the trend fusion. Everything is below the zero line. So would not be hopping into any AVAX long term from here, because it could definitely go lower, especially when I look left and I see a lot more untapped liquidity to be getting into, possibly on AVAX. Let me go ahead and pull the fib of this whole move here from low to high. Let me make sure I got that. Let's see where we are on price on that. Okay, so yeah, we still have the 786 sitting below us here at about $20.76. We do have these equal lows sitting down here at $8.70. Man, I would really hate to get back down there. I think that would take out a bear market low, and it would. So I'm not sure if we'll get that, but I could definitely see us coming back down and actually revisiting the bear market low. I mean, maybe it does get down there. I'm not sure. Gaming hasn't really been doing a whole lot so far this cycle, and it might come later next year, which if you watched yesterday's show, you saw my chart about the elections and how, the tops have always come in around 385 days after the election. And that's on Bitcoin. Okay. And typically you get your top on Bitcoin, and then you get a pullback, and then you get a retrace, and in that retrace the rest of the market goes for their all-time highs. But either way, I don't know, man. I'm feeling like we might be setting up for a super bullish 2025. Just like all year, just bullish. And I don't know what that means, but I just think we're setting up for a super bullish 2025. But that means that we could see, and we likely will see, more downside, at least for altcoins, this year. So kind of what I'm seeing with that is, if I look at Bitcoin, kind of what I would think we could see is one of two scenarios, and that is we do get that big dump that I'm kind of still expecting. And that just kind of drags us out into January of next year before we really get going and get out of here. Outside of that, if we were to continue and break out, it would be this pullback, or a pullback after the breakout, that I think the alts would finally find their bottoms on, especially, the ones that are behind a lot. That is where they would find their bottoms on. And then as it goes higher and makes that run for that 100K, that's when pretty much everything goes. So yeah, and still, it's still day by day, but right now Bitcoin's the one leading the show. So all eyes on Bitcoin. I'm still not even really caring about picking up any altcoins right now, because I still think that I'm still waiting. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that break and that pullback, or I'm waiting for the slight sweep of the highs and this pullback. That's what I'm waiting for before I go all in on everything. If I don't get one of those two scenarios, then I don't really care. I'm not going to jump in mid-range. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to jump in mid-range. I want to see a break of those highs, a clean break of those highs, and then get a pullback and then go long. That is what I want to do, because that makes it more probable that things are going to play out in my favor. Whereas if we do break down here, that just increases the odds that we could see an ABC and go lower. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I got. That's all I got. So AVAX is, I'm kind of meh on it. I don't really like what it looks. It might get some short-term bounce, but outside of that, especially if the market sentiment is that we're going to dump, if we get a Harris victory and she does win, then I think we'll get a dump, and I don't know. We'll see. I mean, actually, there might even be a surprise pump where people are like, oh, we're actually pumping. Let's jump in. Let's FOMO long. And then next thing you know, they dump. We dump, So we'll see.
Well,
we've got a lot of time.
I've got Near pulled up since you brought that up. It's one of my favorite alts. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites. I talked about $3.53 for a spot to hodl buy on, or a swing long from. I missed by 2 cents. It came down to $3.
It's unacceptable,
BC. I know. God forbid. I can't get it right on the dot, but I was so close. I looked at it last night. I was like, within cents. And that's still pretty good, considering
I still can't believe Piper missed that Bitcoin trade by 1 cent.
It happens. It happens a lot. We're like, that's why I don't always like to set some more long-term buys, because of that exact reason. Where I'll put a little alert when we start getting close to that range, and it's like, if I see the bottom, there we go. It wasn't my exact target, but we're just going to send it. And it works out. But $3.51 looks like this local bottom for right now. This is a daily chart. You are getting some nice curvature on your MACD, where your prime oscillator is also getting light red. Your money flow still a little bit red, and could pull things back down just a tiny bit, but it's looking like kind of a local bottom for things. If you drop it down to that 4 hour, you can kind of see the same thing. You're now green. Your money flow is kind of to the point where it could lighten back up and start turning into some inflows. If you drop it down to that 1 hour, you can kind of see here. This is where I was saying you could kind of get some pullbacks. I don't think it's going to come all the way back down to that entry point, but it's definitely looking like it's a little bit toppy on a daily time frame. You've got your MACD still pointing kind of up and your prime oscillator still pointing up. This money flow is so green. It's insane. Like very, very thick green. Kind of to the point though where it could start turning to some outflows. If you drop it down even further, you've got that 15-minute chart, which is still kind of showing you that things are a little bit toppy for right now. The next kind of target I would look at for coming back down to would be some of these lows here. You've got $3.66, which would be a nice little point to make some strength at. It was a nice consolidation range for NEAR as well. It's been a point where we've gotten bounces off of and bounces to the rejection from. So a nice little spot to kind of get back in if you sold off. I know that who was it? Country in our Discord had said that he took some profits and was wondering where to get back in at. That'd be a spot I would look at. For the target to the upside of that, I've been looking back at this golden pocket for the $4 range. There is this fair value gap, which is pulled from a daily chart, which would be a nice little point of contention as well. That $3.84 might have a little bit of resistance on it. So that's going to be your first little point to kind of see and maybe double down on a long on. And then you've got your midway at $3.93. So those are the key points I'd be looking at on NEAR. You said Ondo as well. Do you got that pulled up?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
I will swap that over to you. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Yeah, looking over here at the Ondo chart, looking pretty bearish. We got some bearish rejections off of the dynamic reactor, chart prime, dynamic reactor. Check out chart prime, guys. Link in the description down below. Get 45% off your first month. Did create a chotch. That's a change of character. So I could see a scenario where this does come up, get a pullback into some liquidity around here, and then roll over. So that is what I would kind of expect from Ondo. We can see that most of the volume is down here. We do have a little bit of a vector candle move right here. We add about 0.2359 cents. So could we come down there? Absolutely. We can see all the liquidity, or most of it's right down here. But we could get a stop right here at about 33 cents. I could definitely see that. Let's go ahead and pull a fib on this. But on the daily, hold on, before I pull the fib, on the daily, we rejected off the 50 daily EMA. We were rejecting off the dynamic reactors. This does look kind of like a distribution type of deal where we come back down. This is part of my overall thesis that alts are in general overall going to be going down against Bitcoin, especially as Bitcoin, it becomes more and more of the Bitcoin show. Now, the Bitcoin does lift all tides, but that can still happen like this. Bitcoin goes down, Bitcoin goes up and breaks new high. Bitcoin gets a pullback, Bitcoin goes up and creates another high. Bitcoin gets a pullback. See what I mean? Like alts can still go to the downside as Bitcoin is moving to the upside. And it is on Bitcoin's pumps where altcoins can get a little bit of a rally, but ultimately they fail and continue down. I mean, it's been happening for most of the altcoin market this entire cycle. So I would expect a lot of that to continue. We have broken a trend here, just like we did with AVAX, back tested it, bearishly back tested it, and got rejected. So could definitely see more downside for Ondo, for AVAX, for altcoins in general. Just pulling this right here. Right there. That gets us down here into, so we don't have any orders in this zone here. That typically means that's an area where we would like to go down, where the market would like to get to, and to create some fill out that space, because there's a bunch of space there. It needs to fill out some orders down there. Order book's very thin. In that 32.8 to 37.8 area. So I do think it is likely that Ondo gets down there, in my opinion. So yeah, it's either got to hold here and get back above that 50 EMA and then start consolidating and building a nice base and then move up, or it's going to look exactly like I was showing you earlier, where it just keeps on going to the downside. So I think we're probably favoring the latter. Oh, and look at that. This measured move here gets us right down to the platinum pocket. I'll just say the 886 at 0.348 cents. So yeah, that would be my downside target for Ondo. And yeah, I've been thinking about getting into Ondo, so I would definitely let me go ahead and set an alert for just above that level there. And if it goes off, that's when I'll know I can start DCAing into some Ondo. So yeah, that's what I would do. But that's just me, not financial advice. BC, you're muted.
That Bitcoin dominance is going to play into things on that whole alts thing.
We're going to
buying.
70%, bro.
No, I don't know if we get that high.
Don't say no. Don't say no. Look, you got to understand, where is the money coming from and where is it going? The money's coming from institutions, and where is it going? Into Bitcoin.
But it's also going to depend a lot on how your non-institutional buyers are going to play things out. You're gonna retail, and then your people's grandmas as well. So are they gonna buy Bitcoin? Mm-hmm. Are they gonna go with what I told? With what, like I told my mom, I told her to just buy Bitcoin. So she just buys Bitcoin and doesn't worry about anything else. But I've had my...
we got...
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we got Piper in the chat. It says, good morning, fellas. Love the outfit, LBC. Thank you, Piper. He also super chatted us a whole $9.99. You guys are amazing. Have a greatest day. Thank you, sir. And he said 70% yesterday.
Yes.
So look at that.
I know.
Look at that.
I don't know if it really gets that high. I've had 62 for my next target on dominance, and then above that was kind of that 64-65% range. I really don't know if we get up to 70%. It's kind of something you've seen with the trend of dominance. It decreases how dominant it gets when it tops. And that's why I just don't feel like we get back up to 70%. I feel like,
I mean, nowhere near the top though, brother.
yeah, that's
We
true.
still haven't broken the all-time high again.
That's true.
So,
I just, I don't know.
um,
You normally see dominance start ticking back down before it tops out. And that's one of those things where 2021, you saw 73% was the top on dominance. And that's why I feel
yeah.
like it's going to be a little bit lower this time, especially with how much more crypto there is in the markets. It's definitely going to be a challenge to get back to 70. We'll
We'll
just
see
have to
about
see.
that.
We'll just, yeah, we'll really just have to
Because
see.
I think it's all an allocation thing where people just see Bitcoin going to the moon and they're like hopping out of their altcoins to try and chase gains, and that's what happens. Let's see. Fade and TradFi says unless BTC just rips, right? Then up, up, up. Yes, if Bitcoin just rips, then probably altcoins will follow with it. But I don't know, because if Bitcoin's ripping, that means other things are going up, but maybe you'll have some low cap stuff ripping too because they're easy to move. But your top 10, top 25, like the ones that take a lot more liquidity to move, I think they would be struggling if Bitcoin is pumping hard, because everything would be going, all eyes would be on Bitcoin, and it's the Bitcoin show. That is my personal opinion. Eric Wallen, I do want to address this. He says no super woke people in the ballot line in PA. Good sign. LOL. And I
Not
want to
yet.
reiterate what I said earlier this morning, which is Republicans tend to vote early and in person on the day of election day. So just be prepared for another what they call a red mirage scenario like we had in 2020, where it looks like Republicans have the lead at first, and then Democrat votes start coming in a little bit later, and their votes get counted. Those votes, so the early votes are heavily weighted towards Republicans. The later votes are heavily weighted towards Democrats. So almost every election, you get this dynamic where it looks like Republicans have like an early, but then the Democrats, like the other types of votes, start coming in that get counted later than the same day votes, and then the Democrats start to catch up. The question is, will they be able to catch up enough to outweigh the Republican vote that came in earlier? So we'll see what happens. Just I would not declare victory at any time until everything. I don't care who comes out and says, Edwin, or if the lady comes out laughing, I don't care. We count the votes. We wait until we know for sure what's happening. So, and no early celebrations. Don't FOMO into the election. Let's see. Riot season incoming, says Buck. I hope not. Are you muted? Are you talking?
I was not talking. I was looking at a
Oh.
Bitcoin dominance to Bitcoin history chart. So that's kind of,
Yeah, Falco says Pennsylvania is a big mail-in state. So yeah, exactly. Like Pennsylvania is going to be a thorn. I think it's Arizona or Nevada. We could be waiting. I think it might have been Nevada actually, but the way that they count their votes, it could literally take days to like weeks. And if there's a scenario where they're like the last state, and it's just kind of like, God, I hope we don't get stuck in that scenario, where we've got to wait, a few days to see who the president's going to be. So hopefully it's a pretty decisive, it's pretty easily to be called tonight. Let's just hope that. I'll say that. No Red Mirage Party. Yeah, no, don't do that. Emma says good morning as we are on the way to school. Good morning, Emma. Good morning. Good morning, John Foster, Crypto. Yep, there we go. Camel, Camel. I'm not.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm not reading yours, beast.
Woot.
Kamala.
No, and this is kind
Guys,
of.
her name is Kamala, not Kamala, not Kamala. It's Kamala. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is an Indian name, so it's definitely not gonna be how people think it's pronounced. Let me.
Oh no, Camilla. I've heard Camilla.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
wait,
so bad. It's
it
so
don't even
bad.
look anything like that.
My roommate butchers that name terribly. It's so bad. I'm like, you're so white, man. It's like, I know, but like obviously. Let me.
No, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Like I've got, it's the Bitcoin dominance compared to Bitcoin. You can kind of see here when we top out. Here's our second top out on dominance. You can kind of see it's that 74 range, and this was back in 2021. So right before the all-time high is when that dominance kind of peaks out, and that's where you can kind of see that's normally the indicator before the high. So dominance will peak out and then start going down, and that's how you know that you've kind of we're right around that topping signal. Before that, if you kind of zoom back out, you can kind of see here's the 79% dominance, and this would have been 2016, the 2016 cycle, and it's right before that push up, as you can kind of see over here on Bitcoin. If you sit here at, there it is. It's right as we top out on dominance, you get that last little leg up on Bitcoin, and 79% for last cycle, 79% for 2017, and that's where you really start to see the alt market. That's when you have BCH come into play, Ethereum come into play. So there's not like a big alt market. LTC was around long before that, but it wasn't really a dominance factor. You really start to see your alt market explode in the 2016 cycle. You have it decrease more, where 74-ish% was the top last cycle, and this is why I don't think we get up to the 70s this cycle, because you literally have a crap coin market that's printing new coins, hundreds of coins a day, and this is decreasing the potential for Bitcoin to really see that 70% dominance. So we'll kind of see how that plays out.
$5 super chat from Falco says, slapping down a $5 for those beautiful pronunciations.
Hey, we like to have fun here.
Piper said, communism?
Yeah. We're totally not getting monetized today.
I don't think particularly, honestly, in my personal opinion, that we're going to be, it was supposed to be communism after Obama. It was supposed to be communism after Biden. And I'm still waiting on this communism everybody keeps talking about. I'm just not seeing it. There's a reason people on the left are super pissed at Biden and Harris. So.
Yeah, I mean, so.
But if you're not involved at all, and if you don't look, and if you're not in any kind of left-wing circles, you're not going to know this. If all you do is surround yourself by MAGA people, then you're just not gonna know this. And yeah, I suggest people get outside of their dang bubbles and talk to people. Most people don't want communism, and it's kind of, I still think it's silly that people still call the Democrats communist, but just like I think it's silly that people call the Republicans fascists. It's just like it's this mudslinging. I'm over it. I'm over it. Just it all started with Newt Gingrich in the 1990s, and it hasn't stopped. And that's when things started getting bad. Is when Newt Gingrich started actually being like personally attacking people as Speaker of the House, and that's when politics changed forever. And and I don't think we've ever. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. Look, fact is, I think Democrats, like many Republicans, especially the old school rhinos, maybe not so much MAGA, but are just corporatist. They're corporate elitist. They're capitalist, they're corporate elitist, and they like to promise you breadcrumbs to keep you happy. And that's about it. I don't think it's much more complicated than that, guys. I don't think so. I think they're just corporatists. They like making money, and they're going to do it any way they can. And one of those ways is also war. So you got to worry about the war hawks out there. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't have a dog in this race, so I really don't care. I think we still get the same corporate elitist either way. It's just going to be what flavor of corporate elitism are you going to get? Yeah, that's about it. It's like that meme where you've got the big plane. I can't think of the C something plane, or it's a bomber, right? It's a bomber and it's dropping bombs, and it says Republicans on top, and on the bottom it's the exact same plane, but it has like the pride flag and like a trans flag and like BLM written on it, and it's just dropping bombs. It's like it's the same thing, but with just like lipstick on it.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. And the argument is that Trump is the vote against that system. But in my opinion, his first presidency didn't prove that. So he very much did things like Republicans wanted. So, hey, if that's what you want, then that's what you want this go around. There you go.
On Piper's subject, where it's what is it? I don't know how we pronounce
Communism?
it. Communism. I don't know if you've read the book Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, but you probably should, and then see how much it's a little bit worrisome to me. I don't think
for what
so it's more of how to position things in a position for communism. I don't think either side, though, will really kind of put an end to that because of, as you've said, corporatism. And when you have buddy system, which is why I think the mudslinging is like, it's bad, but it's good because both sides are a crap show. And if you're thinking that either crap show is going to fix the crap show that we got going on, then you're sorely mistaken. They're both in line for the same political ends. And they just give you this, well, we both have the same goals. We have slightly different ways of getting it. But the whole end goal is for you to pay the bills of them.
Exactly. Yep.
So.
Yep.
And it all comes down to, like, one side kind of says things out loud a lot, and one side kind of is hidden behind a little bit of a curtain. They've got different buddies on their corporate agendas, but like they're both just like over there of the corporate elites, you know? So at the end of the day, you need to worry about your local elections and raise things up from the bottom to the top, because otherwise it's not going to get any better ever.
What if Trump is part of the theater?
D-
What if
I,
he's got the script
I, you know,
and he's just playing heel like it's WWE?
and see, and that's that's why I say that both sides are a crap show. That if you think that either side,
1984.
yeah, if you think that either side is going to fix anything in your daily life, you're sorely mistaken. Like,
And that's why I'm
look at,
libertarian.
yeah, that's why I'm libertarian. It as libertarian gets. And if you look, Trump did all of the same stuff that Joe Biden. They both went to Israel. They both kissed the wall. They've both kissed the same feet. They've both married with the same corporate politi- political agendas. Yes,
Yeah.
they. I mean, if you look at who made money, it's the same people making money on the corporate side of things.
Well, yeah, like the Trump tax cuts, 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. And the tax cuts that we got in the middle class were sunset, which means they go
Yep.
away.
Yep.
But the top 1%, their tax cuts were permanent. So, hey,
That's what
facts are
I've said.
facts. And facts don't care about your feelings. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings, but facts don't care about your feelings. That's why I'm just like, I don't care who wins. I just want to get it over with so I can just.
Yep.
I'm tired of this market being stupid.
Well, that's why I said the other day that Bitcoin doesn't really care. Like, it's all just a mirage. Bitcoin is going to go up. You might get some slight moves off of the actual data, but Bitcoin is going to go up. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin doesn't give a crap who's in charge. Bitcoin
Up and to
is
the right.
code. Bitcoin is code. Bitcoin functions the exact same. We've seen it function the exact same way. What is shown you that it should move in any different kind of way because of who's president? Nothing. Nothing has given me that evidence that it should move any different than it has moved every single cycle. Bitcoin won't care. It's going to go up.
Why do I see people talking about how if Bitcoin doesn't break out or something that this time is different? Well, I guess, I mean, yeah, I do see it, but what it seemed like people keep thinking that so initially, my theory for a long time was that Bitcoin was going to top out late this year, early next year. But when I bring up the U.S. election chart and I show you all that stuff, I mean, that's still a possibility, but we're getting slim on time for that to happen, for us to go out and break and 100K and to hit our, Pico top. We're running out of time for that to happen within that time frame. And so if we are to actually stay on the 4-year cycles, then it actually makes sense that we would run Bitcoin to May next year, and then the whole market tops in like late in December. But going off of my chart, the U.S. election chart, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Did I do it on the Bitstamp chart? Yes. Okay. Let me zoom out. Turn some other stuff off so we get the lagging out of here. There we go. And I know there's people probably up in the chats talking about how this will be the end of democracy or something, but the democracy ended a long time ago. You don't actually have a choice. No, I don't know. But yeah, so our all-time high would come in around, late November, early December of next year. If we were to continue to follow this pattern, where, blue lines are election days, that's usually, we never come back to see that price again. Blue line election week, we never come back and see that low again. We came very close here, but we still didn't. And then right here. We're right here at the election. Are we going to continue higher? When are we going to top? I mean, this thing just looks like it's ready to go. But like I was saying earlier, if we get that move down, we might still see something like this. I would love it if it did something like that. Honestly, that's what I would love to see, just to keep on cranking and moving up to the upside. But if I go ahead and I throw, what is going on? Why am I getting so many notifications in my headphones on my Discord? Are you texting me? What's going on?
No clue. Same thing just happened to me.
I think it's my news stuff going off in the background. Hold on. I just thought of something to add to this. Oh, yeah. The Bitcoin power law. Let's go ahead and add the Bitcoin power law. Where do I have it? Bitcoin power law. What time is it?
It is 7:12. I don't think we've ever done a show this long.
We haven't. All right. So, yeah. Bitcoin power law. If this was to continue, it's possible that this comes in just about 437,000. Resistance 420% from current price. Support 31% below current price. So that support is currently sitting at about $48,786. So if we keep following the Bitcoin power law, which is possible, our next stop could be just above 100,000, which would make sense. I would expect 100,000 to be met with a lot of resistance. So we could see another pullback down and go another 6 months before we get our final leg up in December. And then, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. 3 6-month long ranges to just continue pushing the price higher. I mean, wouldn't surprise me when you've got institutions involved. That's kind of how they do things, man. They build up, and then they go, and then they build up, and they build up, and then they go, build up, and then they go. Like that is when you got institutions involved. These are just simple accumulation patterns and stuff like that. I mean, institutions are not, but when they're taking like 6 months, these consolidation ranges, that's big money playing the ranges and getting as much liquidity out of the market as possible until the thing is just so dried up that they just send price up to get more people in.
But you can't really have asked for better buying opportunities.
No, absolutely not. Where are you at? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I did some stuff in the background, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I slid off a screen for a second.
Don't tell anyone. Let's see. Who do we got here? We've got Tony Soprano. He says, America, F yeah. Let's go, baby. Lasers, I humbly decline to command a sinking ship. Phew, diminishing returns obvious on that chart. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Now, there is one thing. So one of my working theories on this whole move here is, let me go ahead and pull up the Elliott waves. So I'm still in the belief that this cycle is still continuing. That we are just that this was supposed to be a little bit shorter. This move right here, this was supposed to be our consolidation before our final leg up to the upside, but because of Terra Classic, or not Terra Luna, Celsius, FTX, all of that stuff collapsing the market, that we ended up getting a prolonged move down and a prolonged correction, and we've been working steadily to push that back up. But yeah, because the reason why is because the fourth wave never came down into the territory of wave one. So technically speaking, it is still a 5-wave structure to the upside, and that this was just a pullback of a fourth wave. This is actually the fourth wave. So yeah, this is where I was like expecting, you know, an expanded flat or running flat, some type of flat correction in here, and that's where I expected things to, you know, continue higher. But then things broke down because of FTX and all that stuff, Celsius. From this level here, you know, we had more stuff going on. I can't remember if this was FTX or which one this breakdown was. I think FTX was the last collapse.
Yeah, if you look at the
Possibly.
Sol chart, you'll get a better time frame.
I'm not looking at the Sol chart. I don't care about Solana. I hope it dies. No, I'm just kidding.
Woot. Yeah.
Woot, woot. But yeah, and we're just working on that fifth wave, and within that fifth wave, we're working on the fourth wave. So we're inside the fourth wave, and we're looking to wrap that up before we continue higher. So that's basically it. That's what I'm looking for. And as long as the third wave isn't the shortest wave, then that is what we'll get. But also that means that it's likely that our target will probably be a lot lower than $300,000. But you never know. You never know. If we have like a complete melt up in all markets, we could definitely see $300,000. Like if all markets just go whoo at the same time, oh, look out. Things could get crazy, and it will be quick. So make your money quick, take your profits, and get out of the market.
Most definitely.
Well, it is Sol, says
I'm glad I'm not the only one that hates Sol. I'll make money off of it, but I hate it. It's so ugly.
I just haven't liked it since it came out. And I knew it was a centralized VC venture capitalist coin. Like ever since then, I was just like, you know, when you get into crypto, you kind of get indoctrinated with the you know, philosophy of own your own crypto, never tell how much Bitcoin you own or crypto you own. You know, just the whole privacy thing about it. But the main thing is decentralization, and personal responsibility. And if you just if you let someone else, a third party, custody your crypto, and you don't own it yourself, and you do that on a centralized exchange, good things aren't going to happen. It's just good things are not going to happen. So, it just completely goes against the whole crypto philosophy and Bitcoin philosophy. So, and I am in it for that philosophy, just so we're clear. I mean, I'm here to make money too, but I'm also in crypto for that philosophy. Especially Bitcoin. Maybe not necessarily crypto, but definitely Bitcoin. Because I can see a world, you know, where we're all, you know, Bitcoin is the standard. And then we have all these other cryptos to go off of. We have, you know, our Ethereums for our smart contracts, for our, I don't know, our deeds on our houses or something, you know. We have NFTs for medical data. We've got this for that, you know. There's different ways that we can implement this stuff that helps real world problems and makes them more efficient and safer from a privacy standpoint, and more secure, and and it's going to take time to get these things implemented, and very few chains will win, like big time win. There will be, you know, some, I don't know. I foresee a future where a lot of the crypto market just kind of dies unless there's a crypto casino, and that is where everything is. That's where all the fun happens. That's where your memes and stuff are, you know. I'm just not big in like, I'm just not big on, I'm more like layer 0, layer 1. After that, you know, it's just kind of like, I mean, I'll use a layer 2 to make a faster transaction, but if need be, or a special type of transaction, whatever it is. But outside of that, man, I'm just stacking sats and yeah, building
Being a
wealth.
degen.
That's building wealth. I'm not being a degen. I mean, I guess by default, being in crypto, whether you're in Bitcoin or not, you're kind of a degen.
Just
Just because, it's the volatility.
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
I'm here for.
yeah, I mean, that's how you get the biggest gains. It's also how you get the biggest losses.
Yeah.
So,
But,
just don't bet the house.
I'm betting the house, the farm, the car, all of it.
Green beans, potatoes, tomatoes. I don't know why that just popped in my head when you were saying all that stuff.
I don't know. But I do need to go run an errand. So I don't know if you're ready to wind down the show, but we've almost done an hour and a half of
Heck
complete
yeah.
lunacy for the people. So
It has been a fun one, that is for sure.
most definitely.
If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button on your way out and subbing to the channel if you are new, we'll get back to more serious stuff at another time. But today, I think we just wanted to have some fun and just kind of chill and kind of let everybody know, hey, no matter what happens, it's gonna be okay, and we're here for you. I'm here for you. Don't try not to have any meltdowns, and if you do have any meltdowns, keep them on X. Don't take them out to the streets. Just unless something is just like blatantly obvious in your face, like, yeah, this is messed up. If you're like kind of just like, okay, maybe I don't really know. All right, don't look. There's no reason to think that we need to 1776 this stuff. Okay, just calm down. There'll be another election in 4 years. In 2 years, there will be another election. So just the midterms. Also, if you are concerned about who the president might be, make sure you also vote down ballot, because there's certain people called Congress in the House and in the Senate that help keep the president in check. So if you are concerned about anything like that, just make sure you're voting down ballot. Arguably more important than the president.
Yeah. Make sure you vote
because-
good people into Congress so that good people steal your money and not bad people.
Hey, vote good people to Congress so that you have less of your money taken from you instead of more. But you're still gonna have money taken from you either way. So
Most definitely. Thanks to everyone that joined. I hope you had fun with today's show. We definitely had fun doing it for you. As LBC said, check out the links in the description. If you like our TA, we do have WAP upperclassmen in our Discord. That link is in the description. If you join, I believe there's still a few spots left for the 1999 membership, and that will be for life. We do have a trading group where we drop a bunch of this TA. So you can get all the data as the day goes on. Check out the morning market report with Piper and OC Guy. We'll see if TradeFly makes an appearance on election day, but that will be at 8:30 Eastern time. TradeFly and FD White will have a show tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. The Crypto Nightcap show. That's also on this channel as well. Other than that, everyone stay safe on election day. Protect your capital, because it might be a little bit volatile today.
yeah, I could definitely see it getting a little bit volatile today. But yeah, thank you all for joining. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Make sure you do your civic duty. Go out and vote, vote, vote. I don't care who you're voting for. Just do your job as a citizen and vote. And yeah, I appreciate all of you for joining us. I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical day. Ride those waves. All right? Ride those waves. Hold on. Before we go, there was something else that I'm trying to remember. And I lost it. Okay.
Well, if
Love
you
you guys.
remember it, drop it in the Discord for the people. What?
Yes.
Everyone wake up.
It's going to be a good day.